The ultrasound photo was dated 3 weeks before she even left for Rome. That's when I knew someone had been planning this for months. I'm standing in the arrivals terminal at JFK holding a sign that says, "Welcome home, Sarah," like some kind of idiot. My best friend Marcus is next to me, grinning, phone ready to capture the reunion. 6 months. That's how long she's been gone. 6 months doing her dream internship with an architecture firm in Italy, and I've been here counting days like a teenager. The crowd parts, and there she is. Sarah's wearing this loose white dress I've never seen before. Her hair is longer. She's glowing. That's the word everyone uses, right? Glowing. But there's something else. Something in the way she's holding her purse against her stomach. Protective, like she's carrying something fragile. She sees me, smiles. It doesn't reach her eyes. "Hey, baby," she says when she gets close enough. Her voice sounds tired. No, not tired. Careful. I hug her and she stiffens. Just for a second, just long enough for me to notice. "You okay?" I ask. "Just a long flight." She pulls back, adjusts her purse. "Can we go home?" Marcus takes her suitcase. He's chattering about how he missed her lasagna, how the apartment probably looks like a disaster, all the normal stuff. But I'm watching Sarah's hands. They keep drifting to her stomach, then catching themselves, then drifting back. In the car, she's quiet, staring out the window like she's seeing New York for the first time, or the last. "Sarah? You sure you're okay?" She turns to me, opens her mouth, closes it. "We need to talk when we get home." My stomach drops. Those 5 words. Every guy knows those 5 words mean nothing good is coming. But I don't know yet. I don't know anything yet. We get to the apartment, our apartment, the one we've shared for 3 years, and she goes straight to the bedroom. I hear her unzipping her suitcase, the sound of things being moved around, rustling. Then, "Can you come here?" I walk in. She's sitting on the edge of the bed, holding her purse in her lap. The leather is creased from how hard she's been gripping it. She looks up at me, and her eyes are wet. I'm pregnant. The room tilts. Not a lot, just enough to make me reach for the dresser. "You're what?" 12 weeks. She says it quickly, like ripping off a bandage. "I found out in Rome. I wanted to tell you in person. My brain is doing math it shouldn't have to do. 12 weeks. That's 3 months. She's been gone 6 months, which means, how?" It's all I can manage. She looks down. "It happened right before I left, that last weekend, remember? We went to the cabin?" I do remember. Our goodbye trip, 2 days in the Catskills. We've been so careful. We always were. We had plans, career plans, travel plans. A baby wasn't in those plans for at least 5 more years. But we used. I know. Her voice cracks. I know we did, but nothing's perfect, right? The doctor said it happens. Something feels wrong. Not the pregnancy, that's already impossible to process, but something in how she's telling me. The words are right, but the melody is off. "Okay," I say slowly. "Okay, we'll figure this out. There's more." Of course there is. She opens her purse. I hear papers crinkling. When she pulls her hand out, she's holding a photograph. She extends it to me. I take it. It's an ultrasound, black and white. That weird alien-looking shape that somehow becomes a person. I've seen these before. My sister's pregnant, showed me about 50 of them last year, but I'm not looking at the image. I'm looking at the date stamp in the corner. May 3rd. My hand starts shaking. The paper makes a small, rattling sound. "Sarah." My voice sounds far away. "When did you leave for Rome?" "You know when I left." She's not looking at me now. She's looking at the floor, at the space between her feet where the carpet has that wine stain we could never quite get out. Humor me. May 19th. May 19th, I repeat. I hold up the ultrasound. This is dated May 3rd. The silence is so thick I can hear the upstairs neighbor's TV, some game show, fake audience laughter. "They must have gotten the date wrong," Sarah says, but her voice is doing something strange, getting smaller. Hospital systems glitch all the time. I pick up the photo. The date stamp isn't handwritten. It's printed, digital, from the machine itself. And next to it, Ospedale Santo Spirito, Roma. I picked up the photo. The date stamp said May 3rd. She left for Rome May 19th. Marcus comes over that night, not because I called him, because he knew. That's what 15 years of friendship does. You develop a sixth sense for when someone's world is imploding. We're sitting at the kitchen table. Sarah's in the bedroom. I can hear her on the phone, voice muffled through the door. She's been in there for an hour. Walk me through it again, Marcus says. He's got this lawyer voice he uses sometimes, even though he's an accountant, calm, methodical. What exactly did she say? That she's 12 weeks pregnant, that it happened before she left, that we need to figure things out. And the ultrasound date? She said the hospital system glitched. Marcus leans back, folds his arms. You buy that? I want to say yes. I want to believe that hospitals make mistakes, that dates get transposed, that there's some perfectly reasonable explanation why a photo from 3 weeks before she left the country shows a baby that shouldn't exist yet. But I can't. No, I say, I don't buy it. The bedroom door opens. Sarah comes out. She's changed into one of my old college t-shirts. It's always been too big on her, but now it's really too big, drowning her, or maybe she's just making herself smaller. Hey, Marcus, she says. She sounds bright. Too bright, like someone doing an impression of happy. I didn't know you were coming over. Just checking on my boy, Marcus says easily. Big news, right? Congratulations. Her smile falters. Yeah, thanks. She looks at me. I'm going to make some tea. You guys want anything? We both shake our heads. She goes to the kitchen. I hear the kettle filling, the click of the stove igniting, small domestic sounds that should feel normal but don't. Marcus leans forward, drops his voice. Something's off, man. I know. You want me to... Not yet? I don't even know what I'm saying not yet to. Not yet to what? Investigating my girlfriend? Accusing her of lying? Destroying the life we built? Sarah comes back with her tea. Earl Grey. She always drinks Earl Grey when she's stressed. The smell of bergamot fills the room. Too sweet, too cloying. She sits down across from us, wraps both hands around the mug like she's cold. So, she says, I've been thinking. Here it comes. I can feel it coming like a storm you see building on the horizon. Dark clouds, drop in pressure, that electric taste in the air. I want you to adopt the baby. The words don't make sense at first. They're in English. I understand each individual word, but strung together like that, they might as well be Mandarin. What? Legally, formally. I want you to adopt the baby as yours, not just like be a father figure. I want your name on the birth certificate. I want full parental rights, equal custody, everything. Marcus shifts in his seat. I can feel him looking at me, but I can't take my eyes off Sarah. Why would I need to adopt a baby that's already mine? She takes a sip of tea. Her hands are shaking slightly. Tea sloshes against the side of the mug. Because I want us to be solid. I want there to be no question. No what if we break up, or what if things change. I want you all in. I am all in. I've been all in for 6 years. Then prove it. The words land like a slap. My jaw actually tightens. I feel my teeth pressed together. Marcus clears his throat. Sarah, that's not really how it works. If he's the biological father, he doesn't need to adopt. He's already legally... I know how it works. She cuts him off, sharp, then softens. I'm sorry, I know, but this is important to me. This is about commitment, about showing me that you're not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. Then sign the papers. She reaches into her bag, the same bag the ultrasound fell from, and pulls out a manila folder. sets it on the table between us. The folder is thick, professional. The tab has her handwriting on it. Adoption. My name. My name. She's written my name like I'm a case file. Like this is already decided. I open the folder. Inside are forms, legal forms, printed on that heavy paper lawyers use. The text is dense, full of heretofore and aforementioned and other words that make everything feel distant and cold. But I can see the highlighted parts, yellow highlighter, still slightly damp. My signature line is marked on every page. She's put little green arrows next to each one. She'd marked my signature line that morning. When did you get these? I ask. I had them drafted before I came home. I wanted to be ready to show you I'm serious. You had adoption papers drafted. For a baby you say is mine, before you even told me you were pregnant. She nods, like this is perfectly reasonable, like this makes sense. Marcus stands up. I think I'm going to head out. Let you two talk. No. Sarah reaches out, touches his arm. Actually, I was hoping you could stay. I invited someone else too. They should be here any minute. Who? I ask. The doorbell rings. Sarah stands up, smooths down her shirt. Your mom. My mother's voice in the hallway. Sarah, honey, are you... Oh, everyone's here already. Good. Margaret Walsh enters my apartment like she owns it. She's always had that energy, the kind of woman who walks into a room and immediately rearranges the furniture through sheer force of will. She's got a Tupperware container in her hands. Lasagna. Of course it's lasagna. Mom, what are you doing here? Sarah called me. She sets the Tupperware on the counter, turns to face me. Her eyes are bright, too bright. She told me the wonderful news. A baby. Can you imagine? My first grandchild. You already have a grandchild. Melissa's son is my first grandchild with you. She comes over, puts her hands on my shoulders, squeezes. This is such a blessing. Unexpected, sure, but blessings often are. I look past her to Sarah, who's studying her tea like it contains answers. You told my mom before we even talked? I needed someone to talk to, Sarah says quietly. Margaret's always been so supportive. She's called her Margaret for 2 months, and now they're best friends, I mutter. Marcus makes a sound that might be a laugh or might be a cough. My mother releases me, sits down in Marcus's abandoned chair. So, I hear there's some paperwork involved. You know about the adoption thing? Of course I know. Sarah explained everything. She reaches across the table, taps the manila folder, and I think it's wonderful. What a beautiful way to show your commitment. My head is spinning. This feels orchestrated, staged, like everyone got a script except me. Mom, if the baby's biologically mine, I don't need to adopt it. That's not how... It's not about need, sweetheart. It's about want. She looks at Sarah, and something passes between them. Some unspoken understanding that I'm not part of. It's about showing Sarah that you're the kind of man who steps up, who doesn't run when things get complicated. I'm not running, I'm just... My mother squeezes my hand under the table. Her grip is tight, almost painful. She leans in close and whispers, but loud enough for everyone to hear. Don't let her go. We can make this work. The smell of her perfume, Chanel No. 5, same stuff she's worn since I was a kid, makes me slightly nauseous. Or maybe that's everything else. Sarah's watching us, watching my mother's hand on mine, watching the way she's positioned herself between us. There's something in Sarah's face. Not quite triumph, but close. Relief, maybe, like she's passed some test she didn't tell me about. I need time, I say. I need to think about this. Of course. Sarah nods, but her eyes say something different. Her eyes say, there's a clock ticking. My mother releases my hand, pats it instead like I'm 7 years old and need comfort after a bad dream. You've always been so thoughtful, so careful. But sometimes, sweetheart, you have to lead with your heart. I pick up the folder, feel the weight of it, all these pages, all these signatures, all this commitment that I apparently need to prove. I'll look at these tonight. That's my boy. My mother stands. I should get going. Let you three talk. But think about what I said, okay? About stepping up. About being the kind of man your father was. Low blow. She knows it. I know it. My father died when I was 16. Heart attack at 43. Be the man your father was is her nuclear option. The argument I can't counter because he's not here to tell me what he actually would have done. She kisses my forehead, tells Sarah to call her tomorrow, lets herself out. The apartment feels bigger when she's gone, emptier, like someone sucked all the oxygen out. Marcus comes back from the kitchen where he's been pretending to look for something in the fridge. That was, yeah, I say. Sarah stands up, collects her tea mug. I'm going to bed. It's been a long day. She stops at my chair, leans down, kisses the top of my head, just like my mother did. I love you. I know this is a lot, but we'll figure it out. Together. She goes to the bedroom. The door closes with a soft click. Marcus and I sit in silence for a full minute. Then he says, "You need to look through her stuff." I can't just... Yes, you can. Something's wrong here, man. The dates don't work. The adoption demand doesn't make sense. Your mom showing up like that? He shakes his head. This feels like a play, and you're the only one who doesn't have the script. He's right. I know he's right, but knowing it and acting on it are different things. Tomorrow, I say, I'll look tomorrow when she goes to her doctor's appointment. You want me there? Yeah, I want you there. Marcus nods, stands up, claps me on the shoulder. Get some sleep, or try to. Text me when she leaves. After he goes, I sit at the table for another 20 minutes. The manila folder is in front of me. I open it again. Read through the first few pages. It's all standard adoption language. Termination of biological parent rights, assumption of full parental responsibility, best interest of the child. But there's a section I missed before. Page 7. A clause about inheritance rights. Another about decision-making in medical situations. Another about what happens if Sarah and I separate, how custody would be split, how child support would be calculated. She's already planning for us to break up. That's what this is. She's building a safety net that guarantees I'm on the hook regardless of what happens to us. I close the folder. In the bedroom, I can hear Sarah crying. Small sounds, muffled by the pillow. Part of me wants to go to her, wants to hold her, wants to believe that this is just fear and hormones and the stress of an unexpected pregnancy. But there's another part, a quieter part. The part that's looking at all the pieces that don't fit. The ultrasound dated 3 weeks before she left. The adoption papers prepared before she even told me she was pregnant. My mother, Sarah's sudden ally, whispering, "Don't let her go." The highlighted signature lines. I thought of every time she said, "I love you tonight," how each one landed like a demand. I pick up the ultrasound photo, study it in the lamplight. There's something else I didn't notice before. In the bottom corner, partially covered by Sarah's thumbprint, a phone number, handwritten, Italian country code, and below it, in pencil, Alessandro. I don't go to the bedroom, I go to my office, the tiny room that used to be a closet, and close the door. Open my laptop, start Googling. Ultrasound dating accuracy. Can hospital systems glitch dates? Adoption when biological parent. Each search takes me deeper into territory I never thought I'd need to explore. The territory of doubt, of investigation, of treating the person you love like a suspect. By 3 a.m., I know 2 things for certain. 1, ultrasound dating is accurate within 3 to 5 days in the first trimester. Not 3 weeks, never 3 weeks. 2, you don't adopt your own biological child. Ever. The only time adoption happens is when parental rights need to be transferred, which means Sarah is either catastrophically confused about how biology and law work, or she's lying. I save the Italian phone number to my phone. Don't call it. Not yet. But I save it under a contact name Truth. Then I do something I've never done in 6 years together, something that makes my stomach turn even as I'm doing it. I text myself the photos from Sarah's Instagram, all of them. From the last 6 months, every smiling selfie with the Colosseum, every sunset over the Tiber, every plate of cacio e pepe. Then I start looking at the backgrounds, at the reflections in windows, at the shadows that might tell me what time of day it really was, at who might have been holding the camera. Because Marcus is right. Something's wrong here. And if I'm going to figure out what it is, I need to see the whole picture. Not just the story Sarah wants me to believe, but the truth hiding in the margins. My mother squeezed my hand under the table and whispered, "Don't let her go. We can make this work." Sarah leaves for her doctor's appointment at 10:15. I watch from the window as she gets into the Uber, her hand resting on her stomach in that protective way she's been doing since she got home. The car pulls away. I count to 60. Then I text Marcus. "She's gone." He replies immediately. "On my way." I start in the bedroom, our bedroom, the room where we've slept together for 3 years, where we've talked about futures that now feel like fiction. Her suitcase is still half unpacked on the floor, clothes spilling out, that white dress on top. I lift it. Underneath, more clothes, her toiletry bag, a book she didn't finish, and then at the bottom, a leather journal I've never seen before. Purple, the kind with an elastic band to keep it closed. My hands are shaking as I open it. The first page is dated January 10th. Week 8, I felt him move today. I read it again. Week 8, January. She didn't leave for Rome until May. I flip through the pages. Each entry is dated. Each one documents a pregnancy that started 4 months before her internship. January 15th. Morning sickness is brutal, but worth it. January 23rd. He kicked. I swear I felt him kick. February 2nd. First ultrasound tomorrow. I'm so nervous and excited I can barely sleep. The handwriting tilts more each week, not with fear, with excitement, with anticipation. She wasn't confused about the dates. She knew exactly when this baby was conceived. The doorbell rings. Marcus. I let him in, hand him the journal without a word. He reads the first page, looks up at me. Jesus. Keep going. He flips through, stops at a page in March. Told Em today. She cried happy tears, said this is exactly what we need. He looks at me. Em, your mother. My throat is tight. Keep reading. March 18th. Em says he'll never leave if there's a baby. She's right. He's too good, too loyal. That's why this will work. Marcus closes the journal, sets it on the coffee table like it's contaminated. This is premeditated. This isn't an accident. This is a plan. A plan that involves my mother. We sit in silence for a moment. The apartment feels different now, like every surface is hiding something. Every drawer contains betrayal. What else? Marcus asks. What else is here? I go back to the suitcase, pull everything out. At the very bottom, folded small, is a stack of papers. I unfold them. It's a lease agreement for an apartment in Rome. Via Margutta 47. The lease is for 8 months, January through August. Rent, 1,800 euros per month. 2 signatures at the bottom. One is Sarah's. The other says Alessandro Ricci. She signed a lease in January, I say. My voice sounds hollow. 7 months before her internship started. Marcus takes the lease, studies it. This isn't a sublet. This is a full lease. 2 signatures. She was living with someone. I pull out my phone, open Instagram, start looking through Sarah's posts from Rome, the ones I've already saved. But this time I'm not looking at Sarah, I'm looking at the backgrounds, at the apartment and her selfies, there, in a mirror reflection behind her. May 28th post, coffee at home. The apartment has exposed brick, a blue velvet couch, modern art on the walls. The same apartment from the lease address. I Google it, find a rental listing with the same distinctive brick wall. She lived there for months with Alessandro. Marcus is on his laptop now, typing fast. Via Marguda 47. Got it. Checking the rental listings. Okay, it's still available. Here are photos from the agency. He turns the screen toward me. The blue velvet couch, the brick wall, the small kitchen with white subway tiles. Everything in Sarah's casual photos from Rome. Page 1 of her journal. Week 8. I felt him move today. She'd only been gone 2 weeks. I spend the next hour going through everything. Sarah's laptop, password still the same, our anniversary, is a gold mine of information. Emails confirming the Rome lease, signed in December. Bank statements showing wire transfers to an Italian account. Whump, 800 euros. Every month since January. But it's her phone records that break me. I log into our shared account, the one we got 3 years ago, because it was cheaper, because we were building a life together, because we trusted each other. Pull up her call history. There's a number she called 47 times in April, before she even left, all to the same Rome number, the one from the ultrasound, Alessandro. The calls get longer as the month goes on, 5 minutes, 15, an hour and 12 minutes on April 30th. What do you talk about for an hour and 12 minutes with someone you haven't met yet? Marcus leans over my shoulder. You need to call that number. And say what? The truth. Hey, is this Alessandro? Do you know Sarah Walsh? Are you the father of her baby? I can't just... Yes, you can. He takes my phone, starts dialing before I can stop him. It rings 4 times. Then, pronto? A man's voice. Italian accent, young, maybe 30. Marcus puts it on speaker. Hi, do you speak English? Yes, of course. Who is this? My name is Marcus. I'm calling about Sarah Walsh. I believe you know her? A pause. Long enough to be significant. Yes, I know Sarah. Why are you calling me? Because she's back in New York. She's pregnant, and she's trying to get her boyfriend to adopt the baby as his own. Another pause. Longer this time. I can hear traffic in the background, a scooter passing. Very Italian. Is this her boyfriend? Marcus looks at me. I nod. I'm his friend. He's sitting right here. He needs to know the truth. I cannot talk about this. This is not my problem anymore. Anymore? Marcus presses. So it was your problem at some point. I told her to handle it. I told her we were done. I have a wife. I have children. What happened in January was a mistake. I made it clear there was no future. January. The word hits me like a fist. So you're saying the baby is yours? I am saying nothing. This conversation is over. Do not call me again. He hangs up. Marcus and I stare at the phone. Handle it, I say quietly. He told her to handle it. That's what this is. I'm how she's handling it. My phone buzzes. A text from Sarah. Appointment running long. Be home by 2. Love you. Love you. 2 words I used to believe in. Now they feel like the end of a threat. The lease was signed in January, 7 months before her internship started. I need proof. Undeniable, scientific, no room for excuses proof. Marcus and I go to CVS and buy 3 DNA test kits, the kind you see advertised on podcasts. Swab your cheek, mail it in, get your answers. But Sarah won't be home for hours, and I'm done waiting. I bag up strands of her hair from her toothbrush. A coffee mug she used this morning, still sitting in the sink with her lipstick on the rim. I know it's not the standard protocol, but the kit says any biological sample works. Saliva, hair, blood. I overnight the kit to the lab. Pay extra for rush processing, 3 to 5 business days instead of 2 weeks. Now there's nothing to do but wait, and deal with the fact that my entire family has apparently decided I'm the villain in this story. My phone rings. It's my mother. Sweetheart, Sarah called me. She's very upset. Upset about what? She says you've been distant, cold, that you're making her feel like she did something wrong. I almost laugh. Mom, the dates don't add up. The ultrasound was dated before she left for Rome. Hospitals make mistakes all the time. You know how technology is. It's not a mistake. I found her journal. She was pregnant in January, 4 months before she left. Silence. Then, where did you find a journal? In her suitcase. She's been documenting the entire pregnancy. She knew, Mom. She knew before she left. Maybe she was scared to tell you. Maybe she thought you'd ask her not to go. She signed a lease in Rome in January with a man named Alessandro. She was living with him. Another pause. Leases can be explained. Maybe she needed a place to stay. Maybe this Alessandro person was just a roommate. She called him 47 times before she left. She's having his baby, and you're helping her trick me into claiming it as mine. I am not helping anyone trick you. I am trying to help you see that this baby needs a father, that Sarah needs you. That family means not running when things get complicated. You wrote her a letter in March. I saw it. He'll never leave if there's a baby. That was you, wasn't it? That was your advice. The silence stretches so long I think she's hung up. Then, you're my son. You're a good man, the best man, and Sarah is a good woman who made a mistake. Isn't that what we do for the people we love? Forgive mistakes? This wasn't a mistake, Mom. This was calculated. This was planned, and you were part of it. I was trying to hold your life together. You were going to lose her. She was going to Rome, and you were going to lose her, and I couldn't. I couldn't watch you go through that. So she admits it, just like that. Admits she knew. Admits she helped. You chose her over me. I chose your future. I chose your happiness. No, I say. My voice is steady now. Cold. You chose what you wanted, a grandchild, a daughter-in-law who would listen to you, a version of me that was easier to control. That's not fair. None of this is fair, Mom. I hang up, turn off my phone, sit on the couch next to Marcus, who's been listening to the whole thing. I'm sorry, man, he says. Did you know? I ask. Did you have any idea my mom was capable of this? He shakes his head. I knew she was intense. I didn't know she was this. My phone, still off, sits on the coffee table. I imagine all the texts coming in, Sarah asking where I am, my mother trying to explain, my Aunt Linda, who my mother has definitely called by now, telling me to think about the baby. Anyone else ever have that moment when you realize the people who should have your back are actually holding the knife? I say it to the ceiling, to nobody, to everyone who's ever felt this particular flavor of betrayal. Marcus doesn't answer, doesn't need to. Sometimes the family you're born with isn't the one that keeps you standing. The DNA results take 4 days. 4 days of Sarah pretending everything is normal. 4 days of her cooking dinner and asking about my day and sleeping next to me like we're still people who trust each other. 4 days of my mother leaving voicemails I don't listen to. 4 days of existing in a reality that feels like it's vibrating at the wrong frequency. On day 3, Sarah asked me if I've looked at the adoption papers. Not yet, I say. When do you think you'll have time? Soon. She searches my face for something, finds nothing, goes back to her pasta. We eat in silence. Marcus texts me every day. Hang in there. Truth is coming. On the morning of the 5th day, I wake up at 3:47 a.m. Just wake up, like my body knows something's about to happen. I check my email. DNA results ready. Gene Trust Laboratory. My hands are shaking so hard I can barely click the link. The laptop screen is too bright in the dark bedroom. Sarah's sleeping next to me, one hand on her stomach, the other tucked under her pillow. I get up, go to the kitchen, open the email on my phone. The PDF downloads. I see the header, official letterhead, my name, sample number, collection date, and then halfway down the page in bold text, probability of paternity, 0.0% margin of error, none conclusion. The tested male is excluded as the biological father of the tested fetus. I read it 3 times, 0.0%. Margin of error, none. The lab email arrived at 3:47 a.m. Results ready. I couldn't open it alone, but I'm not alone. Marcus is awake. I can see his WhatsApp status online, so I call him. It's 0, I say when he picks up. No hello, no preamble. 0, 0%. I'm not the father. The test confirms it. Jesus, okay, send me the report. I want to see it. I forward it, hear the ping on his end, the sound of him opening the attachment, reading. There's something else, he says after a minute. Look at the sample collection date. I scroll up. The date the lab received my samples, 2 weeks ago. The date they estimate the fetus was conceived based on the fetal DNA, mid to late December. 2 weeks before the baby was supposedly conceived, according to Sarah's timeline. A month before she even got pregnant, according to her story. She bought prenatal vitamins in January, Marcus says. He's clearly been doing his own digging. I pulled her credit card statements, CVS Pharmacy, January 14th, prenatal vitamins, folic acid, a 3-pack of pregnancy tests. She was already pregnant when she bought them, and planning to be pregnant for months before that. This isn't an accident, man. This is architecture. Architecture. The word Sarah always uses to describe her work. Designing spaces, planning every detail, making sure the foundation supports the structure. She architected this, my entire life, my relationship, my future. The sun starts coming up. Gray light through the kitchen window. I can hear the garbage truck outside. Monday morning, people going to work, living normal lives where their girlfriends don't fake pregnancies and their mothers don't conspire against them. Sarah comes out of the bedroom around 7, sees me sitting at the kitchen table with my laptop open. "You're up early," she says. Her voice is careful. Testing. Couldn't sleep. Me neither. The baby was kicking. The lie is so smooth, so practiced. How many times has she lied to me? How many times have I believed her? "Sarah," I say, "we need to talk." "Okay." She sits down across from me, pulls her sleeves over her hands. A nervous gesture or a calculated one. I don't know anymore. "What about?" I turn the laptop towards her. The DNA results are still open. Bold text. 0%. A probability of paternity 0.0%. And then I saw it. The sample collection date. 2 weeks before the baby was supposedly conceived. She stares at the screen. Her face goes white, then red, then white again. A series of expressions that would be fascinating if they weren't destroying my life. That's wrong. That has to be wrong. It's not wrong. I used 3 different samples, sent it to an accredited lab. They tested fetal DNA from samples they told me how to collect from you. You tested me without asking me? You tried to get me to adopt a baby that isn't mine without telling me. I think we're past asking permission. She stands up, starts pacing. Her hands are shaking. "This is insane. You're insane. We had sex that weekend at the cabin. You know we did." "We did. And we were careful, like we always are, because we weren't trying to have a baby. Nothing's perfect. Condoms fail. The doctor said what you wanted me to hear, just like the ultrasound date was what you wanted me to see. Just like everything about this pregnancy has been exactly what you wanted it to be." She's crying now. Real tears, or at least tears that look real. "How can you say that? How can you accuse me of faking this?" "I'm not saying you're faking the pregnancy, Sarah. I'm saying you're faking who the father is. That's the same thing." "No, it's really not." I stand up, pull out the journal from where I've hidden it in the kitchen drawer, set it on the table. She sees it, and her face does something complicated. January 10th. Week 8. I felt a move today. "You want to explain that?" That's private. You had no right to." January 15th. Morning sickness is brutal. February 2nd. First ultrasound tomorrow. March 18th. I flip to that page. Read it out loud. "M says he'll never leave if there's a baby. She's right. He's too good, too loyal. That's why this will work." Stop. Who's M, Sarah? Who's the person who told you I'm too good to leave you? She's shaking her head, backing away. You're twisting everything. You're making it sound... I called Alessandro. She freezes, completely still, like someone pressed pause on her. What? Alessandro Ricci, via Marguda, 47, Rome, the lease you signed in January, the 47 phone calls you made before you left, the man whose baby you're actually carrying. The tears stop, just like that. Her face changes, hardens, like she's decided to stop performing. You had no right, she says again, but this time her voice is different, flat, cold, the voice of someone who's been caught. I had every right. You were going to make me legally responsible for another man's child. You were going to trap me into a lie for the rest of my life. It's not a trap if you love me. It's not a lie if we choose it together. The logic is so twisted, I almost admire it. Almost. Did you ever love me? I ask. Or was I always just the backup plan? She doesn't answer, just stands there, arms wrapped around her stomach, protecting the baby, or protecting herself. Alessandro told you to handle it, I say. He told you he has a wife and kids. He told you to get rid of the problem. And that's what I am, right? The solution. The guy who's too good, too loyal, too stupid to figure it out. You're not stupid, she whispers. Then what am I? You're safe. You're kind. You're everything he wasn't. And I thought if I could just get you to sign those papers, if I could just make it official, then it wouldn't matter. Then we could be a family. We could have been a family. We were a family. But you destroyed that the second you got on a plane to Rome to be with him. I loved him, she says. Like, that explains everything. Like, love is a magic word that erases consequences. I really loved him. But he didn't love you back. She flinches. No, he didn't. So you came back to me with his baby and a plan my mother helped you write. Your mother loves you. She was trying to help. My mother loved the idea of a grandchild more than she loved me. That's not the same thing. Sarah sinks into a chair, all the fight gone out of her. What happens now? Now? Now you leave. You pack your things. You find somewhere else to stay. And you never contact me again. Where am I supposed to go? That's not my problem anymore. What about the baby? What about... The baby has a father. His name is Alessandro Ricci, and he's married with 2 kids in Rome. That's who you should be talking to, not me. She looks up at me. Her face is blotchy from crying, mascara smudged. She looks young, vulnerable, and for just a second I feel it. The pull, the desire to fix this, to make it okay. Then I remember the highlighted signature lines, the journal entries, the 47 phone calls, the way my mother squeezed my hand and whispered, "Don't let her go." You need to leave, Sarah. She nods, stands up, walks to the bedroom like she's moving through water. I hear drawers opening, the sound of clothes being folded, the zip of her suitcase. She comes out 20 minutes later, bag in hand. She stops at the door. For what it's worth, she says, I did love you. Once. Before Rome. Before all of this. I really did. That might have been worth something, I say. Before. She leaves. The door clicks shut. I hear her footsteps in the hallway. The ding of the elevator. Then silence. I sit down on the couch. Pick up my phone, text Marcus. She's gone. He replies, Good, you okay? Am I okay? I don't know. My girlfriend is gone. My mother betrayed me. The life I thought I was building just evaporated like steam. But I'm not trapped. I'm not signing papers for someone else's lie. I'm not spending the next 18 years raising Alessandro Ricci's child while he lives his life in Rome like nothing happened. So maybe I'm not okay. But I'm free. She bought prenatal vitamins 3 months before the trip and made 47 calls to a Rome number the month before she met him. It takes 3 more days for my mother to show up. She doesn't call first, just appears at my door with another Tupperware container. This time it's chicken soup, the kind she makes when someone's sick, when someone needs taken care of. "Can I come in?" she asks. I should say no, should close the door, but there's a part of me, the part that's still her son, that still remembers being 7 years old and believing she could fix anything, that steps aside. She walks in, sets the soup on the counter, looks around like she's cataloging changes. The couch where Sarah used to read, the kitchen table where we used to eat breakfast, the absence of her things. "She left," my mother says, not a question. 2 days ago." "Where did she go?" "I don't know, don't care." My mother sits down, folds her hands in her lap, the same way she used to sit when I was in trouble as a kid, preparing for a lecture about responsibility, about consequences. "I know you're angry," she starts. "Angry doesn't even begin to cover it, Mom. I was trying to help. You have to believe that. I was trying to keep you from being alone." I wasn't alone. I had Sarah. I had you. I had a family. And you decided that wasn't enough. You decided I needed a baby to keep me tied down. That's not what I... Yes, it is. I pull out my phone, play the recording I made, the one I made 3 days ago when I called her and asked her point blank what she knew. Her voice fills the apartment. "He'll never leave you if there's a baby. He's too good for that. That's how we keep him." She goes pale. "You recorded me. You conspired to trap me into raising another man's child. I think recording a phone call is pretty mild in comparison." "That's not what I meant. You're taking it out of context." "What context makes that okay? What possible context justifies you helping my girlfriend lie to me about the paternity of her baby?" She doesn't answer, just sits there staring at her hands. "Did you know?" I ask. "From the beginning. Did you know it wasn't mine?" A long pause, then quietly, "I suspected." The room tilts. "You suspected, and you said nothing." I thought if she loved you enough, it wouldn't matter. Blood doesn't make family. Love does. And she loved you. I saw it. She really did. She loved me enough to lie to me every day for 6 months. She loved me enough to try and legally bind me to someone else's child. That's not love, Mom. That's manipulation. People make mistakes when they're scared. She was pregnant and alone, and she wasn't alone. She had Alessandro. She chose to get pregnant with him. She signed a lease with him. She planned an entire life with him, and when he told her to handle it, she decided I was the handle. My mother looks at me, really looks at me, and for the first time in my life, I see her see me, not as her son, not as the good boy who does what he's told, but as a person, someone capable of being hurt, someone who deserves better than this. "I'm sorry," she says, and she sounds like she means it. "I'm so sorry. I thought I was protecting you. I thought I was helping, but I was wrong." "You were more than wrong. You chose someone you've known for 6 years over someone you've loved for 31. "That's not true. I never stopped loving you." "Then why does it feel like you sold me out?" She's crying now, real tears, the kind that come from somewhere deep. "Because I did. I sold you out. I made a choice, and it was the wrong one, and I don't know how to fix it." "You can't fix it." "I know." We sit in silence. The chicken soup is probably getting cold. The apartment feels too big, too empty. "You need to leave," I say finally. I need you to go." "For how long?" "I don't know. A while, maybe forever. I haven't decided yet." She nods, stands up, doesn't argue, doesn't try to hug me, just walks to the door. She stops with her hand on the knob. "I love you. I know you don't believe me right now, but I do. I always have." "Then you should have acted like it." She leaves, and just like with Sarah, I hear the elevator, the descent, the absence. I'm alone in the apartment, truly alone. No girlfriend, no mother, just me and the truth and the wreckage of everything I thought I knew. Marcus comes over an hour later, finds me still sitting on the couch, staring at nothing. "You didn't answer your phone," he says. "My mom was here." And I told her to leave. I told her I might not see her again. Marcus sits down next to me, doesn't say anything, just sits. After a while, I say, "You know what the worst part is." "What?" "I would have been there. If Sarah had come to me and said, 'I made a mistake, I'm pregnant, I don't know what to do,' I would have helped her. I would have figured it out. But she didn't give me that chance. She chose the lie instead. Because the truth was harder. The truth is always harder, but it's the only thing that lasts. We sit there until it gets dark, until my phone buzzes with texts from my Aunt Linda, my cousin Rachel, probably half a dozen other family members my mother has called to tell her side of the story. I don't read them, don't respond. Instead, I look at Marcus, my best friend, the guy who's been showing up every day for 2 weeks while my life imploded. "Thank you," I say, "for staying. Always, man. That's what we do." I thought of every time she said, "Blood is thicker than water." Turns out that only applied when I was doing what she wanted. The first voicemail comes at 11 p.m. "Hey, it's me. I know you don't want to talk, but we need to figure this out. The baby needs, just call me back, please." The second comes at 11:30. "I'm staying at a hotel, the Marriott on Lexington, in case you want to know, in case you care at all." By 1 a.m., there are 7 more. "Your mom thinks we should try counseling. I saw a lawyer today. He said you might still have financial responsibility, even without adoption." "Why aren't you answering after everything we've been through? You can't even pick up the phone? This is cruel. You're being cruel." The messages get longer, more desperate. Her voice climbs higher with each one. By message 12, she's crying. By message 14 at 3:47 a.m., she's angry. "You'll regret abandoning us. You'll regret being the kind of man who walks away from a child, from someone who loved you. Everyone will know what you did. Everyone will know you're not the person they thought you were." I save every single one, forward them to my email, back them up to the cloud. Because Marcus is right about one thing. I need documentation. I need evidence. I need a paper trail that shows the truth. In the morning, I call a lawyer. Rebecca Chen's office is downtown, 17th floor, floor-to-ceiling windows with a view of the harbor. She's younger than I expected, maybe 35, maybe 40, with sharp black frames and sharper eyes. "Thank you for seeing me on short notice," I say. "Marcus speaks highly of you, and your situation is..." She glances at the file I sent over. "Complex?" That's one word for it. "Walk me through it from the beginning," she says. "Leave nothing out." So I do. The ultrasound date, the adoption demand, the journal, the Rome lease, the DNA test, my mother's involvement, the phone calls from Alessandro, all of it. She takes notes, doesn't interrupt. When I finish, she sits back in her chair. "You have a strong case for fraud," she says, "potentially for attempted coercion regarding the adoption papers. The documented timeline, the DNA evidence, the recorded statements, it's all admissible. I don't want to sue her. I just want her to leave me alone." That's wise. Litigation is expensive and emotionally draining. What I recommend is a cease and desist letter. Clear terms. No contact except through legal counsel. If she violates those terms, we move to a restraining order. Will that work? Usually, most people, when confronted with actual legal consequences, back down. She leans forward. "But I need to ask, are you prepared for pushback? From her, from your family, from mutual friends?" "My family already chose her. My friends, the ones who matter, know the truth." Good, because this is going to get uncomfortable before it gets better. She's not wrong. The cease and desist goes out that afternoon. Legal letterhead, formal language. The essence, Sarah, is to have no contact with me, no calls, no texts, no showing up at my apartment. All communication must go through Rebecca Chen's office. Attached, copies of the DNA results, the journal entries, the lease agreement, the phone records, everything that proves the timeline, everything that proves the lie. Sarah calls 16 times in the next hour. I don't answer. Let them all go to voicemail. Forward each one to Rebecca. This is good, Rebecca says when I check in. Let her panic. Let her show everyone who she really is. At 7 p.m., my Aunt Linda calls. How could you? She says instead of hello. How could you do this to that poor girl? Did you read the evidence I sent you? I don't need to read anything. I know you. You're my nephew. And you're throwing away your family over a piece of paper. Multiple pieces of paper, DNA results, phone records, a lease agreement she signed with her affair partner 7 months before she told me she was pregnant. So she made a mistake. So she got confused about dates. That's not a reason to destroy her life. She tried to trick me into adopting another man's child, Linda. She had my mother help her plan it. That's not confusion. That's fraud. You're being dramatic. I'm being accurate. She hangs up, calls my mother instead. I know because my phone starts buzzing with texts from other relatives. My cousin Rachel, my uncle Tom. People I haven't spoken to in months suddenly have opinions about my life. All of them say the same thing. I'm abandoning a child. I'm being selfish. I'm not the man my father would have wanted me to be. That last one hurts because maybe they're right. Maybe my father would have signed those papers, would have raised Alessandro's baby as his own, would have chosen the comfortable lie over the painful truth. But my father died when I was 16, and I'll never know what kind of man he would have become if he'd lived. If he'd been tested like this, all I know is what kind of man I want to be. And that man doesn't build his life on someone else's lies. No guilt, no obligation, just self-respect. The final confrontation happens on a Saturday, 2 weeks after Sarah left. Rebecca calls me Friday night. She wants to meet one last time. She says she has things she needs to say to you in person. No. I told her you'd say that, but she's insisting. She says if you won't meet with her, she's going to come to your apartment or your office or anywhere she can find you. That's harassment. It is. Which is why I suggested a controlled environment. My office. Monday morning, you, me, her, and her attorney if she brings one. We set ground rules, time limit, no personal attacks, just clear communication, and then it's done. I don't want to see her, don't want to be in the same room, but I also know Sarah, know her stubbornness, know she'll keep pushing until she gets what she wants or until she's legally compelled to stop. Better to do this once, properly, with witnesses. Fine, Monday, your office. One more thing, Rebecca says, your mother wants to be there. Absolutely not. She called me directly, said she needs to apologize to both of you, said she needs you to hear it. I don't care what she needs. I understand, but I'm advising you from a legal standpoint that having her on record supporting your version of events could be valuable. If Sarah tries to claim you're lying about your mother's involvement, having Margaret there to confirm it shuts that down. I hate that she's right. Hate that even now my mother is becoming a chess piece in someone else's game. Fine, she can come, but I'm not speaking to her. Not before, not during, not after. Understood. Monday morning, Rebecca's office. I arrive early with Marcus. He's not legally necessary, but he's emotionally essential. The one person in this room who's been on my side from the beginning. My mother is already there, sitting in the waiting area. She looks smaller than I remember, older. She's wearing the blue dress she always wears to church, armor for difficult days. She stands when she sees me. Sweetheart, don't. I hold up my hand. We're not doing this, not now. She nods, sits back down, folds her hands in her lap like a child who's been scolded. Sarah arrives 10 minutes late. She's showing now, a visible bump under a black dress. She's done her makeup, hair perfect, playing the part of the wronged woman, the abandoned mother-to-be. But her eyes give her away. They're hard, calculating. This isn't grief. This is strategy. She has a lawyer with her, a man in his 50s with silver hair and an expensive suit. He introduces himself as David Morrison, shakes Rebecca's hand but not mine. We go into the conference room, big table, leather chairs, a box of tissues in the center that feels ominous. Rebecca starts. We're here today to establish clear boundaries and ensure both parties understand the legal situation. This is not a negotiation. This is not a mediation. This is a final communication before we proceed with formal protective orders if necessary. David Morrison clears his throat. My client is willing to drop all claims if your client agrees to a financial settlement. $50,000 one-time payment. In exchange, she'll sign a release absolving him of all future responsibility. I almost laugh. You want me to pay you to go away. You want me to disappear from your life, Sarah says. Her voice is cold, clinical. This is how that happens. 50,000 and you never hear from me again. Or, Rebecca says, my client pays nothing because he has zero legal obligation to you or your child, because you committed fraud, because every court in this country would look at the evidence and side with him. The court of public opinion is different, David says. Think about how this looks. Successful man abandons pregnant girlfriend, refuses to help with medical bills, living expenses. That's not a good story. Neither is woman tries to trick boyfriend into raising a fair baby, Marcus mutters. Sarah's lawyer glares at him. Who is this? Character witness, Rebecca says smoothly. Now, let's cut to the chase. You have no case. You have no leverage. What you have is 14 harassing voicemails, a documented conspiracy with my client's mother, and evidence of paternity fraud. So here's what's going to happen. You're going to sign this agreement. She slides a document across the table. You're going to agree to no contact. You're going to delete his number, and if you violate any of these terms, we're filing for a restraining order and pursuing criminal charges for fraud and coercion. Sarah looks at the paper, then at me. Is that really what you want? After everything we had? What we had was built on lies. Not all of it. The first 5 years, those were real. Maybe they were, but the last year wasn't. And I can't spend the rest of my life wondering which parts of you were true. So that's it? You're just done? I look at my mother. She's staring at the table, silent. I look back at Sarah. Yeah, I'm done. You're making a mistake. The only mistake I made was not seeing this sooner. Sarah's face crumples, real tears this time, or at least tears that look real. I loved you. I really did. I know you don't believe me, but I did. Then you should have told me the truth. You should have trusted me enough to handle it, but you didn't. You chose the lie, and my mother helped you choose it. I turn to my mother. She looks up. Her eyes are red. Do you have something to say? I ask her. She nods, stands up, looks at Sarah. I'm sorry, she says. I'm sorry I encouraged this. I'm sorry I thought lying was the same as protecting. I was wrong. Sarah's face hardens. You said he'd never leave. You promised. I was wrong, my mother repeats. And I've lost my son because of it, so you'll forgive me if I don't feel sorry for you anymore. It's the most honest thing I've heard my mother say in months. Sarah signs the agreement. Her hand shakes. The pen scratches across the paper. When she's done, she stands up. I hope you're happy, she says to me. I'm not, but I'm free, and that's more important. She leaves. Her lawyer follows. The door closes with a soft click. Rebecca lets out a breath. Well, that was unpleasant. It's done though, right? Marcus asks. She can't contact him anymore? Not without serious legal consequences. If she tries, we move immediately to a restraining order, and I push the DA to consider fraud charges. I nod, stand up, my legs feel shaky, like I've run a marathon. My mother is still sitting at the table, staring at where Sarah was sitting. I meant what I said, she tells me. I was wrong about all of it. I look at her. This woman who raised me, who taught me to ride a bike and helped me with homework and came to every baseball game. This woman who also chose my girlfriend's comfort over my truth. I know you did. Can you forgive me, eventually? I don't know. Ask me again in a year. A year, she repeats. Okay, I can wait a year. I walk to the door. Marcus follows. I stop, turn back. Mom? Yes? Thank you for telling the truth. Finally. She nods, wipes her eyes. It's the least I could do. I looked at my mother and said 6 words. I release you from my life. That night, I sit down at my desk. The old wooden desk that belonged to my grandfather. Pull out Cream stationery. Find his fountain pen in the drawer where I keep important things. The pen is heavy, silver, engraved with his initials. He used it to write letters during the war, to sign his marriage license, to write notes to my grandmother every morning of their 52-year marriage. I uncap it. The nib is still good. The ink cartridge still works. And I write, to the child who isn't mine, I'm writing this because someday you might wonder. Someday your mother might tell you about me, or you'll find my name in a document, or you'll ask questions that don't have easy answers. So here's the truth. From the person who almost became your father but couldn't. Your mother told me you were mine. She showed me an ultrasound and asked me to sign papers and painted a picture of a life where we were a family. And I wanted to believe her. I wanted it so badly I almost ignored all the evidence that said it wasn't true. But I couldn't. Not because I didn't want you, not because I wouldn't have loved you, but because love built on lies isn't love at all. It's just a prettier kind of trap. You deserve parents who chose you with open eyes, who knew exactly what they were signing up for, who didn't need to lie to make it work. I would have been that for you if you'd been mine, but pretending won't make either of us whole. Your real father is a man named Alessandro Ricci. He lives in Rome. He's married with 2 children. He told your mother to handle it when she told him she was pregnant. He made his choice, and it was the wrong one. But his choice doesn't define you. His mistakes don't become your shame. You're innocent in all of this. You're just a baby who deserves better than the mess the adults made. I hope your mother figures out how to be honest. I hope Alessandro grows a conscience. I hope you find people who love you for real, not for what you represent or what they can get from you. And I hope you understand that walking away from a lie isn't the same as walking away from you. You were never the problem. You were just caught in the middle of one. Be well, be loved, be truthful. From someone who almost knew you, my name, I read it over twice. The pen was my grandfather's fountain pen, the only thing I inherited that mattered. I fold the letter, slide it into an envelope, heat the wax, red sealing wax from a kit I got as a college graduation gift and never used. Press my grandfather's signet ring into it while it's still soft. The wax is still warm, red like a warning. I seal it with, your mother's choices aren't your fault, but they aren't mine to fix. I give the letter to Rebecca the next day. Can you make sure this gets filed somewhere? Somewhere official? I'll put it with the case documentation. If the child ever comes looking, they'll find it. Thank you. How are you doing? She asks. Really? Honestly, I don't know. Some days I wake up and I'm angry. Some days I'm sad. Some days I'm just empty, like someone scooped everything out and I'm waiting for it to grow back. That's normal. Grief isn't linear. Betrayal even less so. Is it betrayal if I should have seen it coming? Yes, even if there were signs. Even if hindsight makes it obvious. She made choices that hurt you. Your mother made choices that hurt you. That's betrayal. Full stop. I nod. Don't trust myself to say anything else. One more thing, Rebecca says. The harassment has stopped. No calls, no texts, no drive-bys. She's respecting the agreement. Good. Give yourself time. Time to process. Time to heal. Time to figure out who you are on the other side of this. I leave her office, walk to the subway. It's one of those perfect fall days. Crisp air, blue sky, leaves turning gold. The kind of day that makes you believe things might get better. My phone buzzes. Marcus. Dinner at our place Friday. Keisha's making her famous pot roast. You're coming. Non-negotiable. I smile. Type back, I'll be there. Sometimes the family you're born with isn't the one that keeps you standing. Friday comes. I show up at Marcus and Keisha's apartment in Brooklyn with a bottle of wine and a store-bought pie because I still can't cook to save my life. Keisha answers the door. She's been Marcus's wife for 8 years, the kind of woman who makes you feel welcomed before you even cross the threshold. There he is, she says, pulling me into a hug. How are you holding up? Day by day. That's all you can do. She takes the pie. You didn't have to bring anything. Yes, I did. Your pot roast deserves proper accompaniment. Inside, the apartment smells like home, like someone's been cooking all day with love. Marcus is in the kitchen, stirring something. His 2 kids, Emma, age 7, and Jacob, age 4, are building a Lego tower in the living room. Uncle Mike! Emma shouts when she sees me. She crashes into my legs with the force of a small hurricane. Uncle Mike. They started calling me that 3 years ago. No blood relation, just love and proximity and showing up. Hey kiddo, how's 2nd grade? Good, I made you something. She runs to her room, comes back with a piece of construction paper. It's you. I look at the drawing. Crayon stick figures, one tall one labeled Uncle Mike with a big smile. Next to it, smaller figures. Me, Jacob, Mommy, Daddy. We're all holding hands. Above us, my family. She'd drawn me taller than I am, smiling, the way kids see the people who show up. My throat tightens. This is perfect, Em. Can I keep it? Duh, that's why I made it for you. She runs back to the Legos. I look at Marcus. He's watching me with that expression that says he knows. He always knows. Come here, he says. I follow him to the kitchen. He hands me a beer. You're going to be okay, he says. Yeah? Yeah, look around. He gestures to the apartment, to his kids, to Keisha setting the table. This is what matters, not blood, not who you were supposed to be, just who shows up, who stays. I don't know what I would have done without you. You would have figured it out, but I'm glad you didn't have to. We eat dinner. Pot roast that falls apart at the touch of a fork. Roasted vegetables, fresh bread. Keisha tells a story about a patient at the hospital where she works. Emma talks about the book she's reading. Jacob shows me his favorite dinosaur figurine, explains in elaborate detail why T-Rex would beat Stegosaurus in a fight. Normal things, family things, things that have nothing to do with DNA or legal documents or proving anything to anyone. After dinner, after the kids are in bed, Keisha brings out coffee. We sit in the living room. She picks up Emma's drawing from where I set it on the side table. She worked on this for 3 days, Keisha says. Kept starting over because she wanted it perfect. It is perfect. She loves you, you know. Both kids do. You're their uncle, whether there's paper that says so or not. I love them too. Marcus raises his beer. To chosen family, to the people who show up, to the family that actually gives a damn. We clink glasses, bottles, coffee mugs, and for the first time in weeks, I feel something other than pain or anger or emptiness. I feel peace. Later, standing at the window while Marcus and Keisha clean up, I look out at Brooklyn, lights stretching to the horizon, millions of people living their lives, some happy, some struggling, some, like me, trying to figure out what comes next. My phone is in my pocket, no calls from Sarah, no texts from my mother, no voicemails from relatives telling me I'm making a mistake, just silence, clean, complete silence. I think about the old photo that used to be on my desk, the silver frame my grandmother gave me, the picture of Sarah and me at her college graduation, smiling like we had forever figured out. I'd put it in a box, couldn't look at it anymore. The frame was tarnished at the bottom where I'd gripped it too many times. Tomorrow, I decide, Tomorrow I'll take Emma's drawing. I'll get a frame. Not the old one, a new one. Clean, untarnished. And I'll put it on my desk. This new family, these people who chose me when it would have been easier not to. Marcus comes up next to me, hands me a framed photo I haven't seen before. Keisha printed this last week. Thought you might want it. It's from Emma's birthday party last month before everything exploded. Marcus and Keisha, the kids, me, all of us around a cake covered in unicorns. Emma's making a wish. Jacob's trying to steal a piece of frosting. I'm laughing at something Marcus said. We look like a family because we are one. I polished the frame until I could see myself in the silver, different eyes looking back. Thank you, I say. That's what family does, Marcus says. The real kind. I used to think family was what you were born into. Now I know it's who stays when the truth gets ugly. The family you choose is the one that chooses you back. And standing here in this warm apartment that smells like pot roast and coffee, surrounded by people who love me because I show up, not because they have to, I know I'm home. So here's my ask. Tell me about your chosen family. Who's the person who stayed when everyone else left? Tag them. Let them know. Because that's the story that matters. Not the family you lost, but the family that found you. Emma's drawing goes on my desk Monday morning, right where the old photo used to be. The frame is simple, clean silver, no tarnish. I straighten it, step back, look at it, and I smile. Not because everything's perfect, not because the pain is gone, but because I'm building something new, something honest, something that won't collapse the moment someone tells the truth. Outside my window, the city is waking up. Monday morning, people going to work, living their lives, moving forward, just like me, one day at a time, one truth at a time, one chosen family at a time. And that's enough. That's more than enough. That's everything